In 1999, at 9 years old, I stayed over at our family friend's house in the top bunk of their older son's room. Chatter ushered in 9, 10, 11 p.m., midnight, all past my bedtime, but he kept pestering. Each hour marked more aggressive questions or insidious suggestions. The answer to his 20 questions was his penis, or it's better to stay in the lower bunk with him. I dodged and ducked each ploy until his naked body blocked my return from the restroom. And he forced me to examine his bare erection. Despite earlier rebuttals, he coerced me into a physical interaction that disrupts my life to this day and has prompted me to wear a mask for most of my life. He dismantled the fortitude of personal boundaries and the confidence in the reliability and respect that a steady no should deserve. A few tormented weeks later, unable to sleep, I ran to my mom sobbing. And she asked, what's wrong? And all my shame would allow was, I'm just sad. And she repeatedly asked, and I repeatedly answered, I'm just sad. And sadness was the minimally exposed tip of an emotional iceberg containing grief, sadness, distrust, frustration, anxiety, depression, trauma, and paranoia. And on top of all those stressors, I thought that maybe I would have AIDS, because at 9 years old, you don't understand that it's something transferred and not created from being forced into a situation like that. Over the next year or so, he would attempt a repeat. I would have to stay at their house, and then he would guilt trip me for denying any acknowledgement or memory of anything that had happened. Or swimming at the LA Jonathan Club, he would withhold my clothes from me, saying I can't have them back unless I do anything again. And I would say, or in retort, fine, I'm going home in my swim trunks. Or he'd try and grab me if I would dart in to retrieve them. His attempts waned, and our families saw less of each other after we moved up to Santa Barbara. Regardless of the extended time and physical distance from the event, it pervaded my psyche. Like a bouncing glass marble, ricocheting through my thoughts, distracting me in many moments. During an exam, or surfing a beautiful green-walled wave at Rincon, or choosing the best apple at a grocery store. I had to don my mask through all of this. So elementary school passes 2 years, that's 9 to 11. Middle school, 12 to 14, 6 years. High school, 15 to 18, that's 10 years. University, 18 to 22, that's 14 years. It's something like 168 months, 728 weeks, 5,110 days, 7,358,000 minutes. Most moments infiltrated by reminders of this tragic event that had happened. So I kept my mask on. Despite its persistence, I indignantly ignored it. At my friend's UC Berkeley Vagina Monologues performance after, the host invited all sexual assault survivors to stand up, prompting 1, 2, 7, 10, maybe 15 to rise across the crowd. And I didn't, and I couldn't, and I wouldn't, and I kept that mask on. And I know others did too. I just couldn't acknowledge it. Despite my boundaries being as permeable as Swiss cheese, or my nose as strong as the straw house in the little Give me just 1 second. My nose being as strong as the straw house in the Little Red Riding Hood. Yes, I will cancel that language tutoring that I have for my exam because you have had a hard day and you need that specific hour. Or fine, I will not meet anyone, I will not start my business, I will not network because you may want to move in 3 years. My ability to address issues or any of these things, my communication moved glacially slow. What's another month or year on top of 7,500,000 minutes of practiced suppression? In 2016, at 26, living as a young professional in Santa Monica, my girlfriend at the time confided in me that in college she had suffered a sexual assault. And I welled up, and my throat locked, and snot started just filling my nose, and I lost all my air and I couldn't breathe. And I just started wailing and sobbing, and she was flabbergasted. And she just had no idea what this response was. Until I shared and took the mask off. I know how you feel. Literally the first single words I'd ever uttered on the event up until this point in my life, taking off this mask. Saying I was sexually molested as a child. 17 years of roaring silence broken. And it was actually a relief. Putting it into words, put it into a contained unit that I could acknowledge and digest and manage and reflect on and share. From then on, I went to a therapist and I could share it in words with therapists, with friends, with partners. And we could validate, yes, my boundaries and needs and desires are worthy and valid. Whoa. Yeah, I'm going to go see the Northern Lights, even though you think they are dumb and you are calling me stupid. Or, no, you can't stay at my house if you're going to be high and drunk and act like an idiot. Yeah, Becca was the first person that I ever told, but I kept going. I told my close friends, Blake, Mark, Jonathan, therapists, Shada, Jill, Jillian, and Shauna, partners, Lena and Maya. I think it got up to 13 people, maybe now it's 18, and now with you, 50 to 75 people. Each time I share it, it gets easier to manage and easier to take off that mask, and the mask stays off for longer. So I'm just deeply grateful for you holding space, for listening, and helping me keep it off a little longer. Thank you.
Well, Chris, mask off to you. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Chris.